In Islington, with our park service, we're still proud that we actually grow our own bedding in-house, and we do that at our horticultural resource centre. We grow it all sustainably with peat-free compost, with biodegradable recyclable pots, and we use biological pest control. So all the park's bedding that people will see will come from our own in-house nursery, and we use those in our parks across the borough, in parks like Spa Fields, which we've recently transformed into what was a fairly run-down, neglected park that was really quite no-go into a really vibrant, dynamic space that's really popular and really well used by the local community.
We're up on the roof at the moment where we have our roof garden, which we started some months ago in the autumn. The idea being that we could grow and supply our kitchen with seasonal fruit and veg and herbs. You know, all over London there's hundreds of square yards of empty space, and we're sort of putting some life back in it. Previous to the reed beds, there was just nothing here. It was a bland piece of canal until the reed beds came in, and just the amount of bird life and insect life that it's brought in has been phenomenal.
One of the things that people will notice about Archway is that the actual town centre area itself is very, very grey. We've got a lot of 1960s architecture, some of which is very run down. I think the point about the plants and the flowers and all of the planters that we've had outside the library, it sounds corny to say, but they really do bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. One customer of Map Gift Shop said seeing the planters was like being in Primrose Hill. Well, you know, I'm not saying we're quite like Primrose Hill, but actually the sorts of things that are done like that, when traders themselves actually pay for planters to be put outside their shops, it's about them saying, you know, we care for the area, you know, we've got a commitment to the area, and it really makes a difference, isn't it?
It's just a brighter feel to the day, so immediately when you get up there's a bit more spark. It's like the sun coming through your curtains in the morning. You've got a little bit of zest there.
By bringing students into a centre like this, they can go home and actually tell their parents. We have little quizzes they can take home and actually test their parents or their family members or their peers about how they're recycling and if they're doing a good job or not, and what kinds of things you can recycle.
In Islington, residents are able to put their compostable waste out, and the council picks it up from outside their homes and it goes off to a site where it sits and gets turned into compost. And then today people have been able to come along, fill up a bag with compost that used to be their food waste, and now they can spread it on their gardens to help their plants.
Islington may be a very dense populated borough, but we've still got a number of little gems hidden away in places like Barnsbury Wood, which is London's smallest local nature reserve, which are a woodland just tucked away behind the houses. The Parkland Walk in the north of the borough, which runs through Islington, where you can walk from Alexandra Palace right down to Highbury with only crossing one road and really feel like you're in the countryside. Culpeper Community Garden, just right in the heart of Angel, on the other side of the road from Sainsbury's car park, an absolute oasis of tranquility and calm and beauty, just right in the centre of Islington, and we've got so many of those sorts of spaces.
A key part of all of our projects, I guess, is getting local people involved. But it's also about encouraging a sense of ownership amongst the local population to make sure that when we do up a park and put new plants in and new facilities, that they're cared for by local residents. And if we involve them in the design process and in the improvements, then they'll look after things a lot more once they're finished.
And if they get to look after something from very young, and if they see it grow and then they see it flower and then they harvest the fruits off this plant, you'd be amazed how much it changes them.
There's less vandalism, people are actually enjoying the green space. and you just think, God, we've had a go at that. You know, we've contributed to that, and it's just fantastic.
Once someone starts digging away at a bare patch or something, they become more interested, and then it goes from there. They put one thing in and they see it grows, and that's a pleasure because it's a reward, and then it accumulates. I think people progress through their gardens.
It's only working together that we really do start to bring those changes about. We know as a council that we can't do it on our own, and the Bloom is about everybody coming together to make those changes.
It takes a particular kind of council to actually encourage slightly maverick, I suppose, people doing original and quirky things in the built environment.
Obviously in a borough like Islington, increasing the amount of green space is a real challenge, but through programmes like Green in the Grey, Reclaiming Forgotten Corners, we've actually managed to increase the amount of public open space by almost 2 hectares over the last few years, which is a real achievement.
There's more and more green spaces in and around London where previously there wasn't. It's a really nice thing to see that, you know, we can't save the world, but this little bit we do kind of just makes you feel better about yourself, that you're doing what you can do.
Quite recently, in the last few years, everybody's preoccupied with money and nothing else much. It's nice to see them interested in nature.
Yeah, yeah.